Hey everyone, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Amber, and I'm the creator behind Becoming Aligned. And so this new series is going to dive into the different things going on in our world, whether it be news articles, news clips, social media clips, different things happening in the world. We're going to discuss what happened that week and talk about it. And that's going to be one video a week. And then 2 videos a week are going to be about a specific topic where I dive deep with you and we look at the positive and negative sides of topics and gather all the information we find and put it together to try to figure out what we believe. Discernment is vital, and I really want to be the example and show you my journey of exploring and allow you all to join me on that journey and allow us to learn and grow together. I want to hear your ideas. I want to hear your thoughts and your perspectives. And I just want it to be a peaceful, respectful community where we share ideas respectfully. Trolling or bullying is not going to be tolerated. And I want to let you know first and foremost that I do not claim to know everything. I am an imperfect human. I'm just a soul having a human experience, inviting other souls to share in that experience with me. And so I am definitely no expert. I am not giving any medical, financial, or legal advice here. I am not a doctor, not a therapist, not a lawyer, not a financial expert in any way. I'm just giving my opinions, my thoughts, and my perspectives. And take with it what you will. Don't believe what I say, research what I say. And so let's get into this week's clips that I found that I thought would be interesting to start off talking about.
Watching this whole meeting that was on the steps of Capitol Hill, and they announced that the government does in fact know, they are certain that the government knows about several different non-human intelligent species, both bipedal, they said bipedal, and plasmoid.
Mm-hmm. I certainly don't have the compendium. It's a continuum from corporeal bipedal type life to, what I would consider like sentient plasmoid life, but there are several that the U.S. government is aware of.
And the plasmoid ones, I'm sure, is going to be really exciting for the, I've talked to a few different military pilots here, even on TikTok, and they've told me about the plasmoid orbs that they've seen overseas, and this has been going on for a really long time. So I thought that was really exciting because they doubled down on that there is, in fact, biological, non-human intelligence that they have recovered. And then they went over the Virginia incident, which is another incident in Brazil. We got that whole thing going on in Brazil right now, where they had a crash craft, and one of them they actually brought back to a medical facility, and there's a doctor one of the doctors that worked on the non-human intelligence that came in, the alien that came in. And he's still very adamant about it. And he's completely sound of mind, still practicing medicine. There's nothing wrong with him. He's just like, yes, I worked on this alien. It happened. And then, so they talked about that during the meeting, and that our government actually went and interfered in that in some way. That the Brazilian government received non-human biologics, and that our government played a part in that, in the research, situation with that whole thing. So both the Brazilian government and our government have been exchanging things, apparently, which that's the first time I've heard them talk about that. They talked about the scientific community and that we have a right, our scientific community has a right to have access to the non-human intelligence biological specimens or species so that they can do their research, so that it's not just hidden. Our government doesn't have the right to withhold this kind of information for us. That's not the United States was not founded because we were like, we want more government control. No, the US was founded because we wanted a country that was run by the people, and also because we didn't want to pay so many taxes, which that's a conversation for another day because that has gone downhill. But, hopefully some of that will be situated. Either way, we had representatives from both parties that were there speaking on this subject, trying to bring attention to how important it is that this comes becomes fully transparent, not just for the information, not just for the fact that we have these corporations that have no oversight whatsoever, that are recovering and reverse engineering these craft, taking trillions of dollars from our government. But it's just that we deserve to know. We deserve to know this information. It's part of our history. It's part of our experience. It's part of our human experience. So I was very excited by all of that, but I just wanted to come on here because I got really excited when they doubled down on the non-human intelligence that they have in their custody or that they've encountered, etc. And that they've been working with other governments this entire time. They brought up something from the Australian government, and they've had issues in Russia over time and around nuclear facilities and around our bases here. There's still stuff that's happening around our bases here, according to different news reports and such things. Also went over the close encounters of the third kind. So close encounter of the third kind are when you actually come in contact with a non-human intelligence or, abductions, things like that. So they brought that up, not only because they have so many instances where there's witnesses that come forward, but they also said that the Air Force has been researching that over time, which is good. It seems like they're becoming a lot more open with what they're saying in these meetings, which means that it's becoming a little bit more lackadaisical with their restrictions around the topic.
Well, that's fun. So the government has been lying to us all along and making us think that people are crazy that actually had these alien encounters when it was true. And plasmoid aliens, what comes to my mind is flubber. And bipedal aliens, which I need to look that one up because I don't actually know what that is. So if anybody knows what that is, hi, feel free to teach me in the comments. I'm totally open to it. But my thing is why now? Why are we just hearing the truth now? It doesn't make sense. I don't get what's special about 2026. Oh, could it be because you guys had no choice because they were going to show themselves if you didn't tell us the truth? When you could have told us the truth already. If humans weren't okay with it, let them not be okay with it. We'll adjust like we have in every other era with every other crazy thing that has came out. And so I don't know. I don't understand why they hid it from us for so long. I don't believe in hiding things from people, especially not things like that have everything to do with our history, like our existence. You can't keep that from people. It's wrong. So, I don't know. It's crazy. But okay.
While you were sleeping, 3 bases got hit. Last night, Iran launched drone and missile strikes on U.S. Fifth Fleet in Bahrain, air bases in Kuwait, and another air base in Jordan. Air raid sirens went off in both Iran and Kuwait. Iran says it hit 21 targets and destroyed 4 of them, one of which was an F-35 hangar. This is retaliation. Monday night, a U.S. Apache helicopter went down over the Straits of Hormuz. Both pilots survived. Trump blamed Iran, and within hours, the U.S. hit Iranian ports and islands. Iran hit back the same night. No waiting, no warnings, immediate. And that's the part that nobody's talking about. Iran just shifted what analysts are calling a swift retaliation doctrine. They sometimes used to wait days, weeks, and now the response was within hours. That changes the entire calculus of the conflict. Remember, Trump said 3 days ago he was in the final throes of a peace deal. The ceasefire from April is now effectively dead. Iran and Israel exchanged strikes over the weekend. Now Iran is hitting U.S. bases directly. We are watching this escalate in real time. And here's what I need you to understand. The World Cup starts tomorrow on U.S. soil while we have active military engagements in 3 countries and a collapsing ceasefire. Pay attention.
That's insane. So I just have to say, I understand that there was a ceasefire on the table. And I understand one of our helicopters goes down. But was it really Iran? Could it have been is not real, sabotaging our ceasefire so that the war can keep going? Or could it have been just an excuse Trump used so that we can stay in this war? And he would have the means to be able to remain president. I have heard that's one of the theories. I don't personally entertain the political circus, so I don't have a dog in that fight, and I don't claim to, and I'm totally fine with that, because I don't think either side is right. I think it's two sides of the same bird, so I think they're both just as evil as one another. So, but I wonder if there's something deeper going on with that story. And with being in a current war with another country and having FIFA, of course, it's all I have to say is perfect timing yet again. All right, let's keep going.
Blue. He is the founder of the Public Integrity Project and a former DOJ lawyer. Brendan, it's good to see you on this one. The White House, it says your lawsuit is baseless. Here's their quote. This is an obstructionist, baseless, and dilatory lawsuit brought simply to prevent President Trump from hosting what will undoubtedly go down as one of the most historic sporting events in our nation's history during our semi-quincentennial celebration. Say that 5 times fast. This iconic event is no different than the various other White House hosted events on the South Lawn and properly permitted events on the Ellipse and National Mall throughout the year. What is your response to that? And what is the basis of your lawsuit?
No, this is not about a sporting event. It's about corruption. So what's going on here is a private event organized by a company allied to the president, TKO, is standing to make an enormous amount of money, as is the president himself. The UFC is selling individual sponsorship packages for $1 million to $1.5 million per person. On top of that, exclusive streaming rights for the title card are going to Paramount, a close ally of the president, and ads for companies like Crypto.com and others can play at the White House and potentially even at the Lincoln Memorial. You add on top of that that President Trump has recently bought stock in UFC's parent company, means that this is an opportunity not to celebrate America, but for the president and his allies to enrich himself. So that's what's motivating this suit. If you want to have an event on the White House lawn, if you want to have an event at the Lincoln Memorial, that's not a problem. The problem here is when you have private companies and private people profiting from the use of our national monuments.
Yeah, I absolutely do not think that Trump should be able to do that. All of what he is benefiting and his friends are benefiting, that's the whole reason he had the event there, or that he wants to have the event there. And the crazy thing that I'm noticing is he's trying to downplay it. Oh, it's just like, T-ball on the White House lawn or whatever it is. It's like, no, it's not. It's not at all. It's the UFC. What are you talking about? It's the effing UFC on the White House lawn. You have a giant... Come on. Really? Why are we letting him do this? And does anybody still support him? This doesn't make sense. The UFC on the White House lawn for our 250th anniversary. How does that make logical sense? I feel like, has anybody seen this? What the fuck? But I don't have a dog in that fight, so it's all good. Whatever. Let them do what they want.
On the news today, but it's going to be simplified in 60 seconds. If you haven't heard about this yet, Wendy's is now roasting McDonald's again. Everybody already knows that the McDonald's ice cream machines are literally always broken, so now Wendy's is tracking which stores those are, and they're parking this van in front of them to give away $1 Frosties. Neighbors speak out after stubborn family refuses to sell land to property developers despite jaw-dropping offers. Okay. So basically, this is a photo of the land. It's located in Australia, but as you can see, they have bought everything around them and they've turned it into apartments. but they won't sell their house. Apparently, the only thing that happened is all the neighbors have now come forward and said thank you, and they appreciate that they have not sold that property. They love it, and they hope they keep it. For everybody that heard about Earth's new temporary mini-moon, it is now officially in orbit as of yesterday, so welcome, moon. And if you're somebody that's curious about what this means, this new moon that's in our orbit right now is going to last for about a month or two, but it is way too small to even be able to see, so no, we cannot see it. I give you these...
A mini moon? Are we, what are we talking about here? Like a mini moon? How? Why? When? In history has this ever happened? And then, okay, I could not hold it together with the Wendy's fix, and they're offering dollar Frosties. And they're pulling up at McDonald's. Like, they are so trolling McDonald's right now, and I'm loving it. Oh my God. Every time I think of McDonald's, I just picture the CEO fake eating that sandwich. Like, he just looked so disgusted. Like, it was the hardest thing he's ever had to do in his life. So I'm just like, do it, Wendy, troll away. I don't personally eat fast food or meat anymore. Once they started bioengineering the meat I was done. And so, we know our food's toxic, but we gotta try to eat as healthy as we can. But
the news you're not going to see on TV today, but it's going to be simplified in 60 seconds. The OceanGate co-founder is now claiming that he can safely put humans on Venus. I'm not saying anything about this. A new study has now revealed that hippos can actually briefly fly. So basically, they're saying that this study discovered that whenever hippos move at full speed on land, all 4 of their feet are regularly in the air for brief moments. So technically, they can fly for 0.3 seconds. McDonald's has now officially discontinued their salad offerings in America due to a lack of demand. So, Apple is now aiming to mass produce AirPods with cameras by 2026. They're saying that the reason why they're going to have cameras on the AirPod is so that it can enhance the spatial audio experience. So, for example, the camera could detect when your head moves and it could adjust the sound. So, Apple is now also officially classifying the iPhone X and the first generation AirPods as vintage. So these products are so old that here's the official list of all the Apple products that are vintage.
I better not catch any of you buying those new AirPods with the cameras in them. I really don't give a damn how many people are buying them. I don't care who says it's cool to have a camera in your fucking ear. It's not cool. It's not cool. And it's definitely not for spatial hearing so that they can turn up a certain side depending on which way your head turns. I'm sorry, but when I have earphones in my ears, I don't need the sound to change to an ear just because I turn my head. Like, that doesn't make enough sense for why you need a camera in there. No, think Neuralink, and then you know why the cameras are in there. Come on now. Come on. I shouldn't have to spell it out for you. If you're on this channel, you question things. And so you better not buy those. You better not buy those, because you won't be catching me dead in those. And oh my God, the fact that they have a list of what their old products are, I can't. It's hilarious. This is hilarious. Oh, the things in the news cycles today. I just can't.
Really stunning news this morning, confirming what we've known for a long time. The White House held emergency, secret meetings to protect Donald Trump as the Epstein files push was becoming public. It was all coordinated. The Attorney General was involved. Todd Blanche, the now Attorney General, was involved. The Chief of Staff was involved. Caroline Leavitt was involved. Vice President Vance was involved. They were all involved. And the goal was simple: protect Donald Trump at all costs. And we're now learning about these secret meetings. We're now learning that Vance even suggested having Tucker Carlson interview Ghislaine Maxwell. Everything we had suspected is coming true. And this was all happening as literally the internet folks near the White House were trying to stop the release of the Epstein files, pressuring me to stop reporting on the files. Well, we now have the truth. At the same time, the White House is desperately trying to save its UFC fight, comparing it to T-ball on the South Lawn.
FBI dismantled 13 fake consulting websites secretly run by Chinese intelligence since 2023, which used AI photos and fake defense job postings to pay American security clearance holders cash for classified government information. Southern Baptists voted 6,000 to 2,000 Wednesday to advance a formal constitutional ban on women pastors, with the amendment still requiring a second two-thirds vote at next year's Indianapolis meeting to take permanent effect. Trump revealed for the first time Wednesday that the U.S. has been secretly escorting 22 ships per night with no lights through the Strait of Hormuz, successfully moving over 100 million barrels of Iranian oil into global markets without Iran knowing.
Last I heard, that's typically called theft, breaking and entering, robbery. If somebody broke into my house and stole 22 of anything, that would definitely be theft, I'm pretty sure. But it's okay when it's between different countries and presidents. Okay then, I guess. It's cool.
Major problem on our hands. We now have a sitting Democratic senator standing in the well of the Senate right now, announcing to the American people that him, his investigators, and a bunch of other people apparently saw records that were part of the Epstein file from the Treasury Department over a year ago and buried them.
Last year, the Biden administration allowed our investigators to look at portions of the file. We did that at the Treasury building. Here is what it says. Treasury's Epstein file details, Mr. President, 4,725 wire transfers. Let me repeat that. 4,725 wire transfers, adding up to nearly $1.1 billion flowing in and out of just one of Mr. Epstein's bank accounts.
He then goes on to make the accusation that all 4,700 and some odd wire transfers should have been individuals that they investigated. Records sat on them and did nothing, which means the Biden administration had them also. So I have a couple questions, Senator Wyden. How long have you known about those 407 some odd thousand wire transfers? And what did your investigators do to try to find out who those people were, who the recipients were? And more importantly, why did you bury it? And the problem is, as he said, their investigators saw those records a year ago. And Senator Wyden and whoever else saw Senator Wyden. And another question, if the Treasury Department had access to those wire transfers, where did they get them? When did they get them? How long did the Biden administration have them? And why were they burying them and sitting on them? And here's another question. The Ghislaine Maxwell trial ended in 2021. Did they get those records through that trial? And if they did they present any of that information in the court case at all to try to get to the bottom of who those 4,700 and some odd thousand people were? Sorry, Senator Wyden, you don't suddenly get to pull these records out that you've been sitting on for a year.
That's not okay. So, not only did this president sit on it, but the previous president sit on it, and I believe he knew about Epstein when he was president before. Because in his first presidency, wasn't that around the time Epstein was in prison? Or unalived himself or whatever supposedly happened. So, I mean, none of this is okay that it went through several hands and nobody wanted to stand up and take care of it. And still nobody wants to, except for a few good ones. And that's just the country we live in. Yay, America. I love the people here, but the leadership, though. The leadership.
Humans are now one crucial step closer to regenerating limbs. So basically they're saying that they have now successfully grown antler-like structures on the foreheads of mice by transplanting stem cells from a deer. They're saying that this is potentially now paving the way for human bone, cartilage, and even limb regeneration. This new poll is now showing that nearly 50% of people wait at least 1 month before washing their bed sheets. This doctor is now revealing the disturbing reason why you should not go on a cruise anytime soon. So he's mentioning that everybody already knows there's been a ton of cuts going on from people that work at federal public health agencies, and one of those agencies is the CDC's vessel sanitation program. That program is actually very important because they trace outbreaks and help reduce the chances of more people getting sick by doing routine checkups yearly. He's saying that what's most concerning about all of this going on is that ever since the cuts, he claims that there have been a huge uptick in health scares.
I'm sorry, but why do we need mice to have antlers? What purpose does that serve? And yeah, cutting people at the CDC is not okay. We need them. We need that entire system. Like anybody involved in health, we need them. They're helping us try to get healthy, actually. So, you think, I don't know. This is just diabolical. Diabolical is what it feels like. No, don't go on cruises. Nobody can leave and enjoy anything anymore. So, now that I'm at a point in my life where in a few years I'm hoping I'll be able to do things like that. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm stuck. I don't know. Not mad about being stuck, but I just feel it's messed up the way the world is becoming. But I believe there are still good things in the world and still good people. I understand this episode is a little bit of doom and gloom, but we'll have some good stuff in there later this week, I promise. But we're watching clips about the news, so it's par for the course.
Now, a massive Meta outage is currently occurring this morning. Facebook is down, Instagram is down, Messenger is down, Threads is down. All Meta apps are essentially down and not working right now. It's a widespread outage. It's been going on for about 30 minutes now, and it doesn't look like it's ending at least anytime soon. Right now, a lot of users have said that all the platforms are inaccessible. I haven't been able to post on anything. I'm not even able to kind of refresh anymore or even get into my Facebook at the moment. So yes, if you are watching this video, know that there is a massive, massive outage happening right now. And it's not just in the United States of America. It does appear to be a complete worldwide outage, to also include WhatsApp, Messenger, Facebook, Instagram, all of the Meta platforms. So I'll have more updates for you soon on this front as we see what caused this massive outage.
That doesn't sound good for Meta. I don't really use Facebook a lot, or WhatsApp, or really any of those things they mentioned. I'm more YouTube, TikTok, a little bit of Twitter, but yeah, I don't go on Instagram a lot. I don't know. It's just not my thing, I guess.
Happened across the U.S. in the past hour, all in 60 seconds. The Kennedy Center Board said it will appeal a court order requiring the removal of President Donald Trump's name as a deadline approaches. The legal fight now moves to a higher court, which will decide whether the order is paused or upheld. Vance Belter pleaded guilty in Minnesota to attacking state lawmakers and killing Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband, according to court proceedings. Under the plea deal, he agreed to serve life in prison, bringing the criminal case towards sentencing without a trial. President Donald Trump said a settlement has been reached to wind down the conflict involving Iran, according to multiple news reports. No final agreement had been publicly confirmed, and any signing or implementation was still pending. The Trump administration suspended federal funding for the Los Angeles region's main homeless services agency, citing alleged mismanagement and possible fraud. The move could disrupt homelessness programs in the area, while federal officials review the agency's operations. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said his party's improved political standing reflects a deliberate strategy, according to Politico. His comments come as Democrats try to turn a stronger momentum into gains in upcoming Senate races. Graham Plattner won Maine's Democratic Senate primary with the highest vote total ever recorded for a Democratic Senate candidate in the state, according to New Hampshire Public Radio. His victory sets up a general election race against Republican Senator Susan Collins. The opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge between the United States and Canada was delayed at the request of the U.S., officials said.
On the news today, but it's going to be simplified in 60 seconds. NASA discovered a planet that's bigger than Earth with a gas that is only produced by life. Okay. So basically this planet is called K2-18b, and they think that they found methane and carbon dioxide on the surface, which makes it possibly habitable. But they also said that the oceans on this planet are probably way too hot to make life possible, so I guess come back for an update. People have a lot to say after a Cybertruck stuck on a small hill had to be towed. This is a photo of the crime in question. As you can see, the Cybertruck cannot make it over a small tiny divot. I'll leave it at that. People are mind blown after seeing what Squid Game looks like without the CGI. Newsflash, welcome to the movie world. It's not real. This NASA scientist just captured what an aurora looks like from space. And this is that photo in question. It is beautiful. A new study that was done is now showing that writing down your goals actually increases their likelihood by 42%. So if you needed a New Year's resolution, I guess this could be it.
That's crazy. So we have a planet bigger than Earth called K2. I feel like there are a few other things that have existed in the world that had the name K2. I believe there's a vitamin or a mineral called K2 that we usually pair with D3, and a few other things. Do your own research, but I find that really interesting. And like the whole thing, that's insane. I can't get off the planet thing, so I can't honestly think of what else was in that clip. Oh, the goals thing, that's what I wanted to talk about. So yes, writing down your goals, it helps stay on track. It helps, for me, it helps if I write an outline of not only but the goal, but also I'll put in there the small action steps it'll take me to get to that goal, because I'm a one-track minded person. So like if I have steps to follow, like an instruction manual, I got that. Now in these next two clips, I'm just gonna kind of giggle and let them play. They're kind of surrounding the whole Charlie Kirk investigation that's been going on publicly. I definitely err on the side of Candace Owens, because I did not appreciate how Erica Kirk acted when her husband was assassinated after he was unalived. I feel like she could have acted a little bit better about it, acted like she cared about the man. I feel like Candace has shown more care for Charlie after his passing, after his unaliving. Sorry, I'm gonna get better at this, I promise. Than his own wife, and it's really sad to see, and it's unfortunate. Maybe she gets nervous like I do in front of people, and maybe she just doesn't know how to act, and it comes off wrong. But like, I don't know. She gives me an icky feeling in my gut. Like, I get the feeling she could be a fame chaser. Now, that's just my opinion. I'm not stating anything as fact, and I'm not trying to attack her, but I'm just saying that something's off there. Something's not right. And there's too many people saying that something's not right for us to just ignore our gut. We should never do that. So if you know about it, these clips will make sense. And if you don't know about it, do some research. Decide for yourself what you believe. I don't want to tell you what to believe.
2222. You shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If you afflict them in any way, and they cry out at all to me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath will be hot. Deuteronomy 27:18, cursed is the one who perverts the justice due, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow. Isaiah 1:17, learn to do good, seek justice, rebuke the oppression, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow. Jeremiah 22:3, do no wrong and do no violence to a stranger, the fatherless, or the widow.
The widow.
Malachi
The widow.
5, I will come to you. I will come near you for judgment. I will be a swift witness against sorcerers and against those who exploit the wage earners and oppress the widow and the fatherless. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 3, honor widows. James chapter 1, verse 27, pure and
That's the
undefiled
Lord, this is the
religion
Lord of the
before
Rings
God
clip.
and the
The
Father
Queen.
is to visit orphans and widows in their trouble. Our Lord God defines himself as a, quote, father to the fatherless and a defender of widows.
Widows. Widows. Widows. The widow. You shall honor the widow. You shall worship the widow. I'm gonna keep telling you, the widow. And you will see we are biblical here.
So, my thing on that part is just, why so serious? Like, why you sound so mad, ma'am? Why are you so angry about widows? She sounds so pissed. She sounds so evil. I don't know that lady from a can of paint. I don't know who she is. That's my first time ever seeing her. But that she was funny. She was angry about them widows. I understand. Okay, everybody, I get it. She was defending Erica, and we're like not supposed to harp on the widows. But when the widows have given us a reason to harp on them, then we harp on them. So it's not like people are harping on her for no reason. It completely makes sense.
2:22, you shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. I will surely hear their cry.
She's back. Who? Stay behind me.
Cursed is the one.
In the name of the Father, I banish you.
Who perverts the justice due, the stranger, the fatherless.
The widow. You cannot escape me.
Seek justice, rebuke the oppression, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow.
Your faith is weak.
The power of Christ compels you.
You can't escape.
Do no wrong and do no violence to a stranger, the fatherless, or the widow.
I will drag you to the darkness.
Begone, demon!
Quote, father to the fatherless and a defender of widows.
The widow.
I'm sorry, guys, but I just thought that was so funny, so I had to throw it in there. That just, it's crazy. It's crazy, right? And they make her look so evil, but it looks just like her. So, like, they're not really trying that hard. She does that on her own with the crazy eyes that she makes. That part, and how she tries to make people feel bad for asking questions is crazy to me. I don't understand this world. I mean, you should want to know who unalived your husband. So, I mean, a normal person would want to ask that. But All right, guys, that is it for today. And so if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm a one-woman show, and so I do all the editing myself, everything all myself. And so if you enjoyed it and want to see more, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And make sure, comment and let me know what you thought about these clips. If there's any topics you want to see as this series goes on, there will be 2 other videos posted this week if I have time to get them done this weekend. I do have a day job that I do also on the side of this that I'm hoping one day I can be done with, so that I can just dive into this full time and bring you guys so much more content. But until we get to that point, you know, we'll rock with 2 or 3 a week. So we'll do everything we can to get them out. All right. And so if I don't get to doing 3 this week, I'll work into getting 3 every week for you guys. So if there's anything you want me to talk about, you just let me know. And let me know what you thought down in the comments. Okay, well, thank you all for being here, and I wish you all love and happiness.